Hi, I'm Kevin Klein. Most of you know that I spent decades working in the media. I was the CEO of a newspaper publishing company division. I was a publisher. I've been a publisher actually across Canada. I've worked in radio and I've worked in television. I don't tell you this to brag. I tell you this because I understand the importance of factual information. And you may have seen some of the columns I have written. You can go to my website, kevinklein.ca, to see samples of the columns and notes that I have written about the importance of providing factual information and how the ability for elected officials to put out misinformation, to manipulate the wording of something, or to pretend they have something in their hand when they don't, hurts our democracy. And why? Because you begin not to trust politicians when you find out the truth. And how can you blame anybody? Because you're just tired of the nonsense. And I had a member of the opposition in the House when I wasn't there come out and say that my guys better be careful, my team better be careful, because Kevin Klein from Kirkfield Park, although he had no idea where Kirkfield Park was. You know, I shouldn't say it. Take a look. Here's the clip for yourself.
And I hope that the member for Klein as well, Kirkfield Park, is paying close attention to the rhetoric that's being thrown around in this House, because when members use certain divisive language, trying to get to appeal to their base. I know he's going to spend some time paying close attention, because he did say any kind of fake news he's going to call out. So the member for...
All right, so I provided you the facts of what that person said, and that person is correct. I will call out people who are giving him misinformation. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's becoming of an elected official who is here to do a job. So I want to show you what happened in the Manitoba legislature today, because it's a very good piece of evidence for you to understand the nonsense that sometimes you will hear from those vying for a higher office. I'll let you watch the video and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Well, doctors are speaking out in more areas about this government's failure to get patients the care that they need. Experts in orthopedic surgery from hospitals like the Grace are rejecting this premier and her task force. They've written many letters to this government. Their stance is clear. They've been trying to get action for 5 years from this government. And I quote here, "The Grace Hospital is struggling to offer a basic standard of care that is acceptable." End quote.
Order.
Oh, it's not signed by anybody.
Order.
It's no letterhead. It's not signed by anybody. There's not even a letterhead on here.
Creating letterhead now.
So in this video, you clearly see, because you got to see it all, that the member opposite, the leader of the NDP party, provided a document, but it had no name and address at the top. It wasn't on letterhead, although they claimed it was from Doctors of the Grace. They didn't have any information here, and they didn't have a signature at the bottom. It was just a letter typed on any computer, which could have been typed by anyone. So it wouldn't be right for me to say, well, that's a false letter, because I can't prove that. But the sound clip is what others are looking for. That's what people running for politics are looking for. I have a document that I'm going to table that says this. Although, would you ever see it? I mean, would you know that it didn't have a signature if I wasn't talking to you right now? I can tell you, because the opposition won't show you that clip. The opposition will show you and put out to the media them holding up a document that they claim is real and putting it on the record that they claim is real, but it would take far too much of your time to go and confirm that. So I'm doing that for you here today, because that's the type of nonsense that I don't think should be allowed in the legislature. We're hired to do a job. We're hired to fix problems. We're hired to come up with solutions to make Manitoba a better place, not to make stories up. I want to talk purely about facts that are irrefutable. Since we started our Health Human Resource Action Plan, we have hired over 50 new physicians that are now practicing in Manitoba. We've hired over 600 new medically trained professionals to work in the healthcare industry. Over 600. We put $200 million towards attracting, retaining, and training more healthcare professionals. And these are all facts. and they're irrefutable. And our government has invested over $77.1 million into the Grace Hospital, $63.1 million to improve the emergency room and expand its capacity, over $4 million for safety and security measures to protect staff and patients that are needing a service in the hospital, and over $9 million on medical equipment and upgrades to medical equipment. These are the facts. They are irrefutable. And I will credit our government because I will challenge us in meetings on this information. They bring the documentation and they have it confirmed so that I feel comfortable talking to you. And I will tell you that we all know there's more work to do. We just came out of a global pandemic, a 1 in 100 year event. The entire globe is still trying to recuperate from that pandemic. And healthcare services throughout North America are struggling to get back on their feet. And we're making things happen. Remember what I said, over 500 healthcare professionals have been added to the system, net new, since we invested the $200 million program. And we have more to do, and there's more we will do. And you know why? Because we're getting things done. And that's a fact, and it's irrefutable.